A resume is one of the cornerstones to any career launch or job hunt. As a student seeking an internship or entry-level position, your resume should be a document that profiles your experiences, skills, qualifications, and your potential. Every professional has an idea of what an ideal resume looks like, including us, the career development staff at the DeCosimo Success Center at UTC's College of Business. But it's your document, so we're going to walk you through setting up your resume step by step and help you take charge of this very important document. It is our hope that you will pause this video often and actively build a resume as we go. Just listening to this advice is going to be kind of boring, and it certainly won't stick. But if you're creating a resume as we go, you are going to be on your way to taking a very important step in your career development by composing a winning resume. After you've completed it, we encourage you to visit with a career advisor to gain some feedback, but then also ask other professionals that you trust for their guidance as well. There is much to be said about seeking advice from multiple people, but in the end, this is your resume, and you'll need to decide what's best for you. While everyone can agree that a resume summarizes your experiences and qualifications, writing a great resume requires an important first step that people often ignore, which is self-reflection. Taking stock of what you have accomplished means spending time asking yourself some deeper questions and unpacking your brain. What have you done in your life so far, in the classroom and beyond, that has engendered you with new skills, personal growth, and positive characteristics? You have years of experiences to reflect on, and these experiences will be showcased in your resume. If you do not reflect before building a resume and just plow ahead, you run the risk of developing a resume that makes you seem like a robot. No one wants to hire a robot. A thorough and thoughtfully written resume will be noticed by a recruiter or hiring manager who usually spends only a few seconds to decide whether or not to put your document in the yes pile or into the no pile. More importantly, a good resume that promotes your abilities while making your career objectives clear will get you into the right interview rooms and give you a shot of earning positions that fit you best. Because the goal isn't just getting a job. The goal is launching a career that brings you joy and purpose.
So first things first, think through your life experiences and unpack your brain. Grab a sheet of paper and jot down experiences that were valuable to you. Jobs and internships should be listed, of course, but go further. Are there any experiences from your past that truly challenged you, brought forth your leadership or collaborative skills, maybe made you a better person for being involved, strengthened you, either by building up skills or adding to your personal development? Some possible experiences to consider include athletic involvement, travel, organizations and clubs, volunteering, class projects, or religious endeavors.
These are some things recruiters and hiring managers would likely be interested in hearing more about from an emerging professional. Plus, this can turn a routine interview into a lively conversation that can spark a real connection between people. Take at least 10 minutes to think through these questions and determine what story you would like your resume to reveal about you. Set these notes aside. We will integrate them into your resume as we proceed.
Now let's get down to building your resume document. While you might be tempted to use a pre-constructed template for your resume, please note that this can cause a lot of issues. Formatting restrictions can cause you to leave out some vital information and make adding and editing that document far more difficult. And since you'll be revising this document often as you gain new skills in classes, that can be a real drag. We advise you to start with a good old-fashioned blank Word document and work on your content first before giving your format a thought. We will get to that at the end of our presentation. At the top of your page, you will build your contact information section.
Your name should be prominently placed. If you go by a name other than your official name, we suggest that you make that clear up front. Perhaps put the name in quotes along with your official name, or if you go by your middle name, make it known. This allows you to avoid potentially awkward conversations where people call you the name on your resume during the interview and you're forced to correct them. Next, list your location. Your city, state, and zip code is enough. A street address is not required. Since most resumes are collected electronically, I tend to err on the side of caution, and I would suggest you keep off your street address and protect your personal information. And frankly, this is superfluous information in this day and age. Recruiters do not tend to mail out information anymore. All a recruiter needs to know is if the commute to a company location is reasonable, and your zip code provides this information.
Unless there are special circumstances, you need to be close to a company or have a history in the area when applying for a position. Relocation isn't attractive to an employer, especially for an entry-level applicant. So make sure you connect the dots for the recruiter if your location and the location of the company doesn't sync up. And you can add a home and school location if your family lives outside of Chattanooga and you're considering jobs in both areas. Then you will add your professional hyperlinked email address. Your Mox email works really well if you're staying in the Chattanooga area. There are lots of alumni that are established throughout our business community, and they tend to enjoy considering UT students and grads for open positions. But if you're heading outside of this region, build an email account on a popular and professional platform like Gmail that reflects your name. Next, list your best phone number. You only need to list one that connects to a positive professional voicemail that is not full and can accept messages in case you're unable to pick up the phone. Your LinkedIn vanity URL would be next. If you don't have one, you should consider it. 93% of recruiters and hiring managers look candidates up online before reaching out to them, and LinkedIn is the best platform for professional networking. If you'd like to work on your LinkedIn profile, please see a career services representative. Finally, you would add a portfolio web page link if you're a marketing student seeking a creative position with skills and examples to share. If you need help with this, again, feel welcome to visit Career Development for help.
Next up is a summary or profile statement. A summary statement creates a framework in which you want the document to be read. It is 1 or 2 sentences that quickly informs the reader of who this resume is about. It should be a brief statement that highlights your education, makes mention of what you are seeking in a broad sense, and the positive attributes you bring to the table. An example might be, pending UTC graduate with a double major in finance and accounting seeks to diligently serve a growing CPA firm in need of a highly organized and effective communicator. This is a good time to mention that resumes do not typically include possessive words, words like I, me, mine, or my. Think of your resume as a document about you, not necessarily written by you. When you write this summary or profile statement, ask yourself 2 questions. First, what makes me special when compared to other people? If you have trouble answering this question, ask your friends and family what they think your best qualities are. Second, how would I describe myself to an employer if I had just 1 or 2 sentences to do so? Now, put this all together in a brief statement that highlights your best traits and makes your job fit clear. In an entry-level resume, the next section would be education and credentials. This is where you provide details about your education and any other training or certifications you have completed that support your career goals. When it comes to education, college-level information only needs to be listed, as high school education is assumed. You can't get into college without your diploma, after all. There are a few exceptions. If you went to an elite high school, want to discuss high honors or special activities from that era, or believe that alumni from the high school you attended might be looking at your resume, go ahead and list it. When providing information about your education, prominently list the institution, the credential earned or pending, the city and state, and the date you earned or will earn that credential. If the degree earned is 5 or more years out, leave off the date in order to avoid age discrimination.
your candidacy for the job. Besides your degrees earned or pending, you can list certifications or training that ties back to your summary statement. For example, if you are a finance student hoping to land a position in investments, listing your Bloomberg certifications would be a wise choice here.
In the third section, create a bulleted list of skills that would make you a valuable employee. This allows a recruiter to quickly scan your resume to ensure you have the correct skills that are required for the job. Here is where your self-reflection exercise will start enhancing your resume. Consider what you have learned in classes and projects, or transferable skills gained through previous experiences that connect to your career launch goals to build your skills list. The only skills that should be listed on your resume are those you have actively practiced. Book knowledge is a start, but recruiters want to know mainly about skills you have actively applied to real-world scenarios. Language skills are also ideal to add here.
Drawing a blank. Consider opening the online catalog and reading through the description of courses relevant to your career goals to help you determine what you've learned in classes. Haven't gone out and applied your learning? Well, there's a solution. Find volunteer opportunities with one of Hamilton County's 1,000 nonprofit agencies to gain those applied skills while you're doing good for our community and networking to boot. It's important to note that this section is about hard skills, software, techniques, applicable knowledge, professional abilities, not soft skills, character traits, personal qualities like being a good listener, adaptable, or hardworking.
In the next section, list experience, positions, and activities that somehow or another relate to the field you are hoping to enter. This can include long-term academic projects, internships, volunteerism, and even industry blogging, as well as part-time or full-time jobs, of course.
First list organization, your title, the location, and the dates that you held the role. Then you'll describe what you did there. It's important to think of concise and clear, value-focused job descriptions to create significant statements about the impact you had in the organization through your role, not just listing the tasks that you did. This should be achievement-oriented. In other words, the description should not only address what you did, but how you did it, why you did it, and the results of your efforts. Quantitative data is fabulous here. Numbers tell employers that you are dedicated to results, pay attention to details, and understand that companies have goals and that you can meet them. This also helps recruiters recognize your ability to see the big picture and your understanding of the importance of processes. You may need to use some creativity to reveal something valuable in what could appear at first to be a mundane role, but do not lie or misrepresent yourself. Instead, think of transferable skills that you developed in past positions that do not relate exactly and highlight those. Once you are ready to write your description statements, use bullet points, not paragraphs. Paragraphs take too long to read and you only have a few seconds to impress the reader. Be sure to start each line with an action verb. Statements written in a passive voice are very boring to read. Use past tense to describe a role you currently hold and use past tense for experiences that have ended. There is a list of 100 action words available through the Career Development Office. Stop by to get a copy at the DeCosmo Success Center or email to get a copy so you can easily vary your choice of verbs. And remember when I told you not to include soft skills in your skills list, like being flexible or attentive to details, etc.? Well, feel free to integrate them here into your job descriptions. This is a smart and appropriate place to showcase those great qualities.
Finally, a leadership and community involvement section would be smart to add. Employers seek entry-level talent who are good citizens, passionate about their field, or are natural leaders with potential to grow in the company.
If you supported your community, stepped up to fill a need, or volunteered to help a good cause, provide the name of the organization and a brief description of your role, along with the dates of involvement. I'd also encourage you to join a professional association in your field to add to this section. Why would you want to do that? Well, you might meet your future boss, a future coworker who can give you an in. You'd also gain industry insight, and it looks awesome on a resume because it suggests the professional passion that employers are looking for. Also include experiences here that describe your well-roundedness. Glee club, chess club, soccer, fantastic. Your potential employer may want to know this, especially if you held a leadership role. But remember, academic clubs and academic leadership should be housed in the education section along with your degree. Okay, so you have some bones in place. So let's work on the muscle. It's time to target positions that interest you. Your resume's focus should be on sharing information that is relative to your current career goals. So take the time to tailor your resume to the positions for which you're applying. So how do you do that exactly? It's usually quite easy. Just look at the responsibilities listed in internship or job descriptions that interest you. Review job descriptions very carefully. You should start to see some recurring common duties, responsibilities, and qualifications listed if you're following a particular career path. And then also think about the characteristics that would be beneficial in these roles. Would being a good listener be important, or maybe being collaborative or dedicated to accuracy? Then look at your resume. Does your resume clearly speak to these duties, responsibilities, qualifications, or characteristics common across the board in some form or fashion? Is your potential and value clear to the recruiter in charge of this role? Make changes to your resume so it better aligns with the positions you're hoping to land.
My biggest suggestion is to tailor your resume to each job that you apply for. So create a master resume that comprehensively describes the duties and skills you have used in previous experiences, and then treat it as a template to target specific roles, changing it for each job that you want to pursue. The most important reason for this is applicant tracking systems. Most resumes are filtered through an automated system used to cut away candidates who do not match the needs of the company. So study those job descriptions very carefully to tie keywords. Again, these are important or often repeated words to incorporate into your resume where it is appropriate. Obviously, you don't want to overinflate or lie on your resume.
If you cannot tailor your resume towards a certain career path because you simply don't have the experiences or traits required, now is the time to build those up. Get creative in earning the right to list these skills and traits. Call nonprofits and let them know that you're willing to volunteer in assisting their program director if you're interested in project management. Is HR your thing? See if the manager at your current part-time job wants a hand running payroll, or ask your family if someone at their place of business would be willing to take you on for a few months. Or you can visit us in the Career Development Office to get matched up with a mentor willing to give you small projects to build up that skill set. You have to be proactive, you have to be creative if you want to build an impressive resume. With the right experiences, your resume will go from blah to wow, and the recruiters will be in touch. Now it's time to wrap up your resume and make sure it's right.
First, make sure it's the appropriate length. As an entry-level candidate, your resume should fit on one page. You can extend to 2 pages only if you have a lot of experience to share. Second, format it so it looks clean, consistent, and uniform without a lot of empty white space. Formatting can be tricky, but we're here to help. Come to us with great content that you've created by following our advice here, and we can help with formatting in just a few minutes. Some quick tips, however, include using an easy-to-read font like Arial, Calibri, Helvetica, or Cambria in size 11 or 12 for the text. Avoid bright colors unless you're building a resume that's suited to creative positions in marketing. And definitely do not use odd-sized paper or narrow your margins too much. Third, look for grammatical and spelling errors. Recruiters look for an easy way to put resumes in the no pile. This frankly makes their job easier. So sloppiness is a quick way to get rejected. In the recruiter's mind, you lacked attention to detail and exhibited poor communication skills when they see such errors. So stay in the yes pile by proofreading carefully and then proofreading again. Remember, spell check does not catch everything. Finally, don't waste space by including references or even writing references available upon request. You only have one page to really make an impact. And also, it's assumed that references would be provided when asked for. This goes without saying. Do have references ready as a separate document, the format of which matches your resume. If you're emailing this to a human being or entering it into an applicant database, go ahead and supply those when applying. If not, save them for your first point of contact with the employer.
Last stop, sending it out. I advise you to title your resume with only your name and the word resume. Anything less is too little information, and anything more is too much information. When you send this to employers via email, compose your cover letter as the body of your email and attach it to the email. Remember, you can create a beautiful resume, but if the email you use to send those attachments is poorly written, grammatically incorrect, unprofessional, or boring, the attachments may never get opened. So be sure to get advice on writing strong cover letter as well. We'd be happy to help, of course.
If you use this pattern and follow the advice that we've provided, the 7 to 30 seconds a recruiter or hiring manager takes to scan your resume will put a smile on her face and get you into the yes pile where you belong. To take the test, review your resume for just a few seconds. Did it quickly reveal that you were educated and skilled with much to offer? Ask 3 or 4 professionals you know to review it as well. And if you're a UTC College of Business student, visit the DeCosimo Success Center so that Jacqueline or Irene can look at it as well. We'd love to help you build a winning resume. Good luck!